Hello from Broken Road Homestead. I thought I would take this opportunity while I was catching my breath just to have a little talk with you guys. There's been a lot of questions and things all from family and from friends that it kind of leaves us in a situation where we don't really know how to always answer. And most of these questions have to do with the homesteading altogether, why we chose to do it, um, how they can do it for themselves. Uh, well, just so you guys know, this didn't come easy by any stretch of the means, any stretch of the imagination. This did not come easy for Sarah and I. It's something that we have talked about for our entire marriage. It's something I've dreamed of since I was in high school, which now was quite a ways ago. Um, Mind you, that's all well and good, but I just never had the motivation and drive to actually make it happen. It seemed like the obstacles of life always seemed to come into play. Um, Now, what most people don't know is that what we do around here, we do pretty much by hand. All of this land is going to be cleared, which I'm working on right now, taking trees down, making sure we got good sun exposure for this greenhouse. And then I have to dig this hole. Now, in here is dirt and rocks, and some are boulders, and we don't even know how deep the rocks go. It's not like, we have a forecast of what we're going to take and run into. And it's just like when we had to do the outhouse, where we first got started and we thought it was going to be an easy dig. It ended up taking us a lot longer and a lot more work. But once we got started, we didn't want to stop. Same goes with this hole right here. This is going to be a long process. This is not going to be something that happens overnight. Which brings me to my point. It's something I've tried to instruct people. It's an observation that I had for many years, and it's something I'd like to share, and that is envy. And I'm not saying that people are necessarily envious of what we've got, but we all are susceptible to envy to some extent. Um, and the thing about envy is that I've always said is that it's only envious of the moment. And what that means is that people get jealous and people desire to have what other people have, which we're instructed not to. But it's usually we look at what they have right now, and where they've gotten, not what it took to get there, not how much work, not how much time, how much patience, or how much they had to sacrifice to make it happen. It's only that you want what they've got at that moment. When I first started this, doing the research and everything else, and I saw a bunch of homesteads out there, and I had a little bit of envy even come up in me because it's like, what, I was a little jealous, but I know that there was a lot of work that had to go into making that happen. They didn't just get it handed to them. And that's one of the big things about homesteading. There's nothing here that's just handed to us. Sarah and I, we decided that there are some crops that we plan on growing that hopefully will give us enough funds that we'll be self-sufficient. We'll have the funds needed to purchase the things that we can't grow here, but we're just not there yet. We might be there in a year, 2, 3. We don't know. Um, but I just want people to know that it's not going to happen overnight. Nothing that we do happens overnight. Um, we went in this with a lot of determination when we really dug down to make this happen. We both were working full-time jobs, and I know we're not the only people who's ever done this. We were working 7 days a week, really just about killing ourselves just to get the pennies together to put down on this land and to make the move. And we had budgeted for certain things, and you know what? We didn't a lot for circumstances of life. Some things come up, and it just ends up that way. So where we had an abundance of funds, we don't have that abundance anymore. So we just have to make do with what we got. It's not the first time we've been in this situation, and it's not going to be the last time. That's just part of life. I think part of growing up is you learn to accept those things. Nothing ever comes easy. Um, nothing worthwhile comes easy, I would say. There's a lot of things in life that can come easy. I mean, if you decide that you're going to take a step off the path of righteousness. I mean, if you want to go out and become a thief and steal time from your employer, or steal goods, or, here we have, I guess, what is it, Black Friday coming up. People are taking advantage of that. Apparently it's one of the biggest days for theft. This is things that you can do to get ahead that aren't right. And the Lord knows that, and He's going to look down upon you for that. But He does reward you for your hard work. And I do believe that the Lord granted us this land, and He even gave us the ideas that we, for the things that we were going to grow around here, even the animals we've chosen. I believe that the Lord's been behind it all. And we feel so blessed because of that. So even though we don't have a lot of finances, we do have the richness of the experience. We have the richness of everything that comes into this. Now, like I said, and I don't want to be envious, and I'm not jealous anymore of anybody who has to go through all that to make this happen. Farming's not easy. Clearing land's not easy. Just making ends meet sometimes isn't easy for any of us. Doesn't matter where you're at. Now, a lot of people want to know what it takes to become a homesteader. You just have to have the drive and decide to do it. You don't have to be out in the woods like, we've chosen to do. This is a little bit off the beaten path, but that's what we desired. This is exactly what we felt like was right for us. But now, if you live in an apartment in a city, you can make do. You could set up your own little kind of aquaponic system right in your own apartment. You can go online, you can find the research. It's not that hard to do. You don't have to spend much money, and a lot of things you can do for free. We're soon going to be making these raised beds that we've made some modifications to, and when you see them, I think you'll understand a little better. But when we started searching online, these things can be done anywhere. You don't have to have an abundance of land or the ideal conditions to make it happen. You just have to have the desire. I mean, the thing about homesteading, it's not about running off grid and living off the land. Really, homesteading is about providing for yourself and your family, either in part or in whole, for the things that you don't want to go spend money for. The things, getting back to some of the basic, basic skills of life. The things that help found this country, and even helped us even develop ourselves as a people. Not just here, but all around the world. You can look across the world, and the places they call third world countries sometimes are more blessed than we are, because they haven't gotten away from the basics of life. They're more intent on their survival and providing for one another, but they have a closeness and a family relationship that you don't get whenever you get lost in the busyness of today. So anyways, I didn't want to go on forever with this, but, I wanted to just give a shout out to all those people who are homesteading. All of you have inspired us, and we're hoping that, at least in some part, will inspire other people to kind of do this. Not push them through envy, not push them through jealousy, not make them take them desire to do it because of what we have. But because in their hearts, they know they can do it themselves. They should desire only the knowledge, and then they can take care of themselves. Anyways, have a great day.